Uh-oh. Mr. Medea, we have a problem, ma'am. I mean, sir. But here we go again with another lawsuit against a billionaire. But this time it's coming from a man. How you doing? But is anyone surprised? I mean, for the longest we have already thought that this nigga was gay or bi, whatever you want to call it, because he does have a kid. But this lawsuit is coming from someone that used to work for him on the show Oval Office, Derek Dixon. And ironically, that name is very fitting for him, because that's what Mr. Perry was looking for some Dixon. Yeah, but Derek Dixon is alleging that Tyler Perry was doing all kinds of freaky things to him and is suing for $260 million. God damn. And Tyler didn't even smash for him to be asking for all this, but we'll get into that. But he filed a 46-page lawsuit. We're definitely not reading all that, but let's get into the meat and potatoes of it. But in the TMZ article, it reads, in January 2020, Derek says Tyler invited him to his Atlanta home and he accepted, hoping to build a friendship that would lead to more acting gigs. But according to the suit, while there, Derek drank too much and ended up sleeping in a guest room. In the docs obtained by TMZ, Derek claims Tyler got into the bed with him and started touching his thighs. And although he rejected the advances that night, he claims Tyler remained interested. Ooh, Tyler, you freaky devil. This dude was super aggressive trying to get some Dixon from Derek, for real. And there's a bunch of text messages between them where Tyler was shooting his shot every time he got. This nigga was persistent for that badussy. But after Derek kept telling Tyler no to play with his Dixon, Tyler decided to turn it up and get more aggressive with the flirting. But this time he got physical with him. But in the court file documents, it reads, once Perry recognized the extent of control he had over Mr. Dixon, he escalated this behavior. On multiple occasions, Mr. Perry assaulted Mr. Dixon, including one instance where he forcibly pulled off his clothing, groped his buttocks, and attempted to force himself on Dixon. Mr. Dixon told him no and attempted to remove Mr. Perry's hands, but Mr. Perry held tightly onto Dixon's wrist. Mr. Dixon was only able to escape after de-escalating the situation by abruptly changing the subject. Oh my god, Mr. Medea is wildin'. And after that, he said sorry to Derek and was trying to gaslight him, talking about you should have said no stronger. Like, huh? Nigga, no is no to my booty hole. How you gonna talk about I should have said no stronger? But it reads, Perry kept telling Dixon that he was sorry and that the harassment would not happen again. However, the harassment and assaults continued. Mr. Perry would also try to deflect the blame for the assault by saying that Dixon didn't have a strong enough no. Perry told Dixon you have to be able to say no and mean it and make it clear. Dixon did not know how to answer without facing retaliation, cancellation of his production contract, or perhaps being killed off the show. So instead, Dixon made a joke out of the situation, stating, I'll only say yes to it if it gets me an Oscar. What? Yo, Tyler is over here being a master manipulator, talking about how is your no? Is it stronger? You gotta have a strong no. Like, nigga, what? This is how a predator talks, trying to put the blame on the other person. So if he was to clap them cheeks, he would be like, you didn't say no convincing enough, looking ass. But it gets worse. There was another incident and it reads, at the end of the night, Perry told Dixon not to drive home. Perry said that it was dangerous and that Dixon was too drunk to drive home. Dixon agreed and was escorted to a separate guest room, not knowing that this was a ruse to allow Perry to assault Dixon. Dixon was tired and did not have pajamas, and so he got into bed only wearing underwear, them nasty dookie drawers. Before he knew what was happening, Dixon felt someone else slip into his bed behind him and start rubbing Dixon's body around his inner thighs in a highly freaky, suggestive manner. Dixon turned around and saw that Tyler Perry was in bed with him. At this point, Dixon's stomach started to turn and he began feeling nauseous. Instinctively, Dixon jumped out of bed and told Perry that he wasn't that freaky. Tyler ignored the comments and told Dixon to turn around so Perry could see him naked in them drawers. Perry then commented on how beautiful Dixon's body was. Whew, oh my god. And I already know we're gonna hear from people saying, this is all a lie, they're lying on Tyler. But these text messages have a lot of context and we are not not confusing anything. Just like in this text message, Tyler is wanting attention from the dude to call him handsome or some shit, cause in the messages it says, nice picture, yeah, the water does look calm. Nice picture, great, amazing, awesome picture. You don't see that stud in that nice picture? How rude. Yes, that's a stud, asshole. Yo, talking about that's a stud. This man ain't innocent, y'all, but of course him and his team said this is a lie and it's a scam. But homie provided very good receipts to show harassment, so Tyler is guilty of that inappropriate stuff. But the only regret in this is Tyler didn't get to smash them cheeks, so he made attempts at rubbing his booty, pulling down his dookie drawers, but just didn't get the chance to clap Mr. Dixon cheeks. But not only him, about a year ago, another actor by the name of Christian Keys was making an alleged claims of a famous popular person that was taking advantage of him. Ay. As this is very new, we're gonna start hearing way more new things and people are gonna start coming from the woodworks. You already know how this goes. When one person accuses you, then another person's, and this happened all in the workplace, so it makes it a very complicated dynamic because it's like, you know, the upper hand, you're the boss, and then you got your lower tiers, your co-workers and workers, and you know, they're gonna feel pressure to, well, they're gonna say they feel pressure to do this and do that. And in this case, a lot of what we're seeing is just him being very freaky. So yeah, we can clearly see that Mr. Tyler Perry is gay, and that's okay, man. You know, you make good movies, making money, that's okay. But you was pressing up on Mr. Dixon, and now Mr. Dixon is clapping back because you didn't get to clap them cheeks. It is what it is, man, but let's see, man. Let's watch it all unfolds. Will this be the end of Tyler Perry and the empire? I hope not, but
I've been speaking to my brother about making a declaration of my experience. What I experienced with certain powers that be that were moving inappropriately. And I really, like, it's in my bone marrow to discuss that because thankfully God built me the way that he built me, but I'm not sure, you know, based on this person's claims and brags, that he's literally got, at the same time this person was sexually harassing me for years. He was claiming, you know, that he had multiple young black men on the payroll, and they just had to show up when he requested them to be there. And clearly that's why it felt to him that it was okay to say these things. And I want to have these discussions. I want to be transparent with y'all about that. I've done my best to forgive this person, but it happens. It happens. It's not just women that have to deal with it, but it's also men sometimes.